Can I ask one more question?
Because it's out here on the leading edge. Yes, but this isn't going to be our favorite.
Okay. Okay, just one then. There are times when I know I'm there.
Where?
In the vortex, or in
that you've created an atmosphere where there's no resistance, and well-being is just flowing to you through all avenues, in all ways. Yes.
Yeah. So it kind of ties into this whole anxiety fear thing, because I can literally inside my body feel, I mean, it shakes, like everything inside my body shakes.
You see, all that's happening is you're letting the law of attraction run a little rampant before you get engaged, before you get involved. In other words, just it's the story that we've been telling, and this is the city that we've been talking about it about. Esther couldn't believe the hills in San Francisco. She couldn't believe them. So your car's perched at the top of the hill. You have the parking brake off. The car is out of gear, and you think, I wonder what would happen if I just bumped this car just a little bit. Well, you don't wonder very long, because the car begins moving. But then you come to your senses, because you know the inevitable outcome of this momentum, and you step in front of it and it bumps up against you, and you stop it because you caught it in the early stages. So the car, you wouldn't want to be at the bottom of the hill trying to stop that momentum. So if you wait until you're really frustrated, or if you wait until there's a lot of anxiety before you attempt to find thoughts of alignment, usually there's enough momentum going that the car does run right over the top of you. It's like you say to us, Abraham, I've jumped out of an airplane, I have no parachute. What do you suggest that I do now? And we say, hang on, it will be over in a little bit. Because there is an inevitable momentum that is going to take place. Don't wait until then to ask these questions. Ask those questions at earlier, subtler stages. Or make decisions, make determination, get your expectations going before that. So every time you tell this story, you add to this momentum. Every time you tell this story. Oh yeah, I was really nervous, or oh yeah, that really carried me away. That was really an upsetting situation, or I was just shaking. Literally, I was just shaking. Those conversations, you want to just stop saying them.
It's a good thing, though. So it's not the negative. I get this intense, beautiful, powerful, crazy, out of control, whoa,
nothing
feeling, and then I'm like, oh God, this probably isn't normal. You should probably because that's what they've been telling me my whole life. Is like, you really are not normal. You should calm down.
Well, we don't want you to calm down. We want you to calm up. But we want you to just start on a more secure footing. Okay. Because Esther remembers that when she first began receiving us, she described it as like having her toe in a light socket. Because Jerry was so excited, had so many questions, he had so much he wanted to talk with us about. And Esther was nearly ready for us, but not quite. In other words, willing, but not quite up to speed with us. So that fast-moving, this high-powered frequency moving through her in response to what Jerry was asking about, it was awkward, to say the least. In other words, and afterward, Esther, she felt the energy of it, but it was exhausting, especially in the beginning. So the alignment always feels good. Alignment feels like, imagine yourself in an airplane moving very fast across the sky, high in the sky. And you're looking out the window at the landscape below, and everything just looks peaceful to you. But put that aircraft on the ground at that speed, and it would not feel peaceful to you. Because there's more resistance on the ground than there is in the air in this example. Mm-hmm. And so we want you to just softly, we don't want to imply that there's a thing in the world going wrong. You just don't need to have such a rough ride. It can be easier for you. Okay. And so if you feel that sort of manic energy that you don't have control over. In fact, you use the words uncontrollable. Mm-hmm. Well, law of attraction is controlling. So if it feels uncontrollable, it's because you've got two competing vibrations acting within you at the same time. So that would be like, I want it, but I'm worried about it, but I want it, but I'm worried about it, but I want it, but I'm worried about it. So you're parlaying both of those up, 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 up. So you've got momentum on both of those going. I want this thing, and I'm equally worried about this thing. I want this thing, but I'm equally worried about this thing. That's a really sort of rough ride. So you're wanting to work the bugs out. We take it back. This is our favorite conversation ever. You're wanting to work the bugs out of your vibrational relationship early, before you apply so much momentum. Now, don't you think this is the subject, the conversation that we've been waiting to have? So humans we love you so much. You want to put the pedal to the metal before you've got control of your vehicle. We want you to get control of your vibration and then let law of attraction up the amperage, increase the momentum. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We don't want you to be bored, but you know what we've noticed about so many of you? You would rather be really engaged in something negative than placid about something positive. Because you have convinced yourself that when you're feeling it, that something's happening. And we want you to ratchet those thoughts back a bit. Take care of where you are vibrationally first. Let law of attraction increase that momentum and then watch what happens. Because we promise you, it will get faster in either case. Esther had an epiphany the other day, really recently. In fact, it was so powerful, she wrote it down. Not wanting ever to forget it. She said, so I stand here, or I sit here, in a nearly paralyzed feeling. Can't really get myself to move forward on this list of things that I have been assigned or that I've assigned to myself. So she just sort of sat with that feeling and thought about the difference in that feeling of no inspiration as compared to that feeling of fantastic inspiration. And then she thought, it seems to me that what we're really talking about here all the time is the difference between motivation and inspiration. Because if Esther's speaking about herself, if I will really do this work, if I will get up in the morning and I will do the things that I know make me feel good, and I will focus there, and I will be patient enough to allow law of attraction to pick up the momentum where I've allowed it and increase it. I know, Esther is saying, I know that the motivation, not motivation, inspiration, momentum, that the momentum, because of law of attraction, will become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, that I will then be inspired to act. Now, you know that feeling too. Or, she said, I can approach my world, as I have for many years, as most everybody does, from the perspective of motivation, where I don't line up, so it's not easy. So I don't feel like doing it, so I don't. But I don't line up, but I don't feel like doing it. But I don't line up, but I don't feel like doing it. But I don't line up, and I don't feel like doing it. So I don't line up, so I don't do it. And I don't line up, so I don't feel like doing it. And I don't line up, so I don't feel like doing it. But the momentum of where I am is increasing, 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 and now there's a crisis that I have to deal with, and now I'm motivated to deal with the crisis. Sound familiar? In other words, because whatever you've got going on is going to gain momentum. The question is, how good do I care about feeling? That's the only question. That's the only question. How much do I care about feeling good? And if I care about feeling good, then I have only one path, and that is to start in that soft, easy place and let law of attraction increase that good feeling, aligned momentum where inspiration is born from, you see. We think that rings a lot of bells with a lot of you who are listening in here, because Esther has said for some time, I shine in a crisis. And we said to her, the reason you shine in a crisis is because the crisis makes you focus. But you don't have to wait for the crisis in order to focus. So now we're talking about focusing energy, not focusing thoughts. We're talking about deciding how you want to feel and finding it and being trusting enough in what you have heard, trusting enough in the laws of the universe, trusting enough because of what you've lived, because this law of attraction thing has not been squirrely not one time ever. It has been consistent with you 100% of the time. Trusting enough to wait for the inspiration. Trusting enough to hold myself in a vibrational countenance that brings the inspiration about. And you will never again have that contradictory energy that has been parlayed into higher frequencies that then cause bigger events to happen, like in the Ukraine and so forth. In other words, everything can be dealt with vibrationally first. But if you wait and don't deal with it vibrationally, then law of attraction is going to make it bigger and 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 bigger, and then you have less ability to deal with it. The bigger it gets, the momentum it has, the less ability you really have to deal with it. You get that? It's like standing at the bottom of the hill trying to stop that car that got away at the top of the hill. Not a good idea. This was a very leading edge and important discussion. Did you like it? We did. Have a baby.